We must get to this place where we simply say, not today, Satan, not today. We need to become those warriors. We need to become those kings and queens, those royals that realize that we are children of Christ the King, and to put everything under the dominion of Christ the King. Why? Because all power and all authority is his right now. Right now. We come in his name. We don't come in the name of the Tower of Babel. We don't come in the name of the Ordites. We don't come in the name of the NWO. We don't come in the name of any of that crap. Christ the King. The name to which every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. Start to see the weakness and the problems and the way that the world looks at meaning. The way that it looks at your aim and purpose in life. Look at the difference of vision. Look at the difference of certainty. The idea that you don't have to sit there and speculate, what's the meaning of it all? Man, this is an old question. Your meaning in your life is to recognize yourself as a creature, that you are not God, that you are part of a race that has sinned, that there was no way for that to be resolved apart from the Son of God, through the incarnation, through death, his perfect life, perfect death, and his resurrection. For him to not only work through you, but work through you in such a way that your gifts and talents get supercharged, man, like Mario Brothers, the flower or the mushroom with the star. All of a sudden, you're supercharged. The Holy Spirit working through you, those gifts and talents that he gave you. And for an aim, and not one that you pull out of your rear end. It didn't start with you. It didn't start with me. We're late to the game. You know how many great men and women have come before us? Do you know how many amazing minds and hearts have come before us? I use the phrase the democracy of the dead. They're our ancestors, the ancestors of our race, the heroes of our race, of our holy nation. We have to recognize simple things like honor the past by creating the future. To realize that we have to instill in our children, right, that what we do will be the foundation of our nation's future. It's transgenerational with us. It's one of the reasons why the grayscale on your phone is so important. You got to break free from that constant feel and that constant tug at you to be trapped in the moment. Current event, current event, current event, current event. If you watch stuff on TV and every single day, all it is current events, get it off. Because if it's only about current events and you're not able to keep track, then you're just like in a blur, man. You're just in the moment, man. It's a blur, dude. Like some stuff kind of sticks out of me a little bit. And I'm all like, whoa, man. For like a minute. That sucks, dude. That sucks, homie. Do better. Western men, raise your sons to be Western men who raise their sons to be Western men. Again, transgenerational. We look ahead. We look beyond. Yes, our head is in the present. We are in the present right now between the conflicting forces of the future and the past, but we have one foot in the past, one foot in the future. We aren't just trapped in this thing that's like, no, man, I'm like imagining the world like Star Trek or something. Realize that the decisions that you make regarding screens, the decisions that you make regarding your use of time, especially in the Wolfpack Challenge, that it affects not just you, but your kids. Drawing of children ages 5 to 6 years, having spent less than 1 hour of television a day. Drawing of children aged 5 to 6 years, having spent more than 3 hours of television a day. It has an impact. It has an impact not just on them, but on you. And not just on you, but them. It's bigger than yourself. It's got to start with you, but it's bigger than yourself. It's got to start in the present, but it's bigger than the moment. We're thinking big here, guys. These are not little brain thoughts. These are big brain thoughts. Realize art. People say, man, well, that's a pretty shocking piece of art. I'm showing this not only to show you My Telegram channel, I show a lot of this kind of stuff. Trad Pics is a pretty good. We've got some really great pics, though, by the way. Not just to show you beautiful art, but to show you that in many ways our lives are, in fact, putting art into action. And the art is, in fact, paintings and sculptures of our lives. These are enactments. And I thought about it. And I said, we have a picture that we try to paint on this show of the vision that we have, of the future we envision, of the past that we embrace, and all of these things, of the traditions and values that we have, the expectations that we have, not only on ourselves, but on our culture, the things that we anticipate. But the truth is, if I just leave it in words, it's just a frame, it's just a picture. But to sit there and say we have to put it in practice, you need to see that it can work. You need to see that you can be part of it. And that it's something that's realistic. It's something that is accessible. It's something tangible. It's something that you don't have to escape, off to some weird reservation. You don't have to become Amish. You can do this right from your home. And in fact, not only can you, you should. And in many ways, you must. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. I love that movie, by the way. We're so caught up in technology, technocracy. We've been branded. Everything we do, we're going back to our phones. We're going back to our phones. We're going back to our phones all the time. And you sit there and you say, man, there's something here that we're missing. There's something all around us that we've missed, that we've lost, that we've simply gotten rid of. Birthright for porridge stuff. Every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I acquire? That's what I said, the examination of conscience, that it's not just to find the weaknesses that we have, but also to recognize the steps that we've made. Begins with repenting. I don't know what else to say except please forgive me and have mercy on me, a sinner. And the truth is, we have to understand the last two things, okay? A time is coming when men will go mad, and when they see someone who's not mad, they will attack him, saying, you are mad. You are not like us. Accept it. Accept it right now. Before you even move forward, you know it's coming anyway. And better than that, you know it's as it ought to have been all along. That's why I started earlier and I said, what are the beliefs and values that you have changed? Those things that in the past were fundamental, were dogmatic, and yet over time, due to various pressures, social pressures, inside and even outside, or outside and even inside of the church, that you have adapted to the world and become, more worldly, more tolerant, more diverse, more technocratic. You have to know that they are going to see you, if you do the right thing, they're going to see you as someone who's not like them. And rightfully so. Otherwise, why would they come against you? How would they hate you? How would they persecute you? How would they hate you as they did Christ if this were not true? So again, accept it. And I'm not saying be a weirdo. What I'm saying is be Christ-like. And in a world that's gone mad, that's going to make you a weirdo and make you the kind of weirdo that they're going to want to hurt. They're going to want you to shut up. They're going to want you to be reprogrammed. They're going to want you to be annihilated, to go away. To be just another part of history that just vanished. And you need to stand strong. Because, see, here's the thing. We know, we can tell, we can look back and say, look at the way that all these civilizations have played themselves out, all these high cultures. Look at it, the model of history that we talk about on this show. And you say, sometimes faith will make you look stupid until it starts to rain. It's already started to rain. I would say not until it starts to rain, but until people start to actually drown. And not just in their sins. That's why I've said that I believe that we're going to have ourselves a kind of a great awakening. It will be alongside something kind of, the exact opposite of that. So it's not going to be by itself. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, it's going to be a great awakening. Everybody's going to wake up and love it. There's going to be death all around us. Floating carcasses all around. The question is, are you in the ark? Or did you not want to, look like him, not look like them? Because that looked stupid. And a bunch of people on the outside made fun. Because you wanted to be liked by people on Facebook. Because you didn't want Twitter to get rid of your account. Because you didn't want to be censored on YouTube. You didn't want that. So you changed your mind. So you pocketed that belief. Treacherous. Betrayal. Outside of the ark. Don't be afraid to look stupid to a world that's lost its mind. Don't be afraid to look like Christ. Especially in a world that desperately needs to see him. And in the end, through action, a man and a woman become heroes. Through death, a hero becomes a legend. Through time, a legend becomes a myth. And by learning from the myth, a man and a woman take action. Know that no matter what you do, we're regular folks here, right? We're regular folks. This is the Johnny Q. Sally Sue show, right? It's what we do. And I said, man, just be honest with yourself. Most people, when you die, most people will not read your obituary. Hardly anyone will know that you've breathed your last breath. Hardly anybody. Even some of those who called themselves your friends. But the truth is, you will be part of something that will inspire those who do. And who are inspired by the consequences of your actions. You're like the unsung hero. Realize that you are being heroic now. That it's not just doing the right thing, but that you're actually doing something at the level of heroic. That you're facing insurmountable odds in a world that hates you. A world that wants you dead. And by all appearances, a world that is winning. But that you stood up and you said, no. No. Number one, Christ the King. Number two, taking a knee for him. And number three, Wolfpack. Fighting with everything I got. Every single day. In my big and little ways. Fighting. And doing my best. Believing that God is going to use me and my gifts and talents, no matter what they are. And that God's going to use those things. That even if I am the unsung hero. Even if nobody knows about the efforts and the sacrifices that I made. Number one, God will. And number two, that those things, you do those things and God will honor that in time. Like a starving artist who dies and then becomes one of the most influential artists or writers in human history. Even if not of yourself as a person, yourself as part of a group. Yourself as part of a people. Yourself as part of a wolf pack. You got to believe. You got to believe. And you got to do the challenge. You got to do the Wolfpack challenge. You got to do it.